Hey, what's up guys? It's Self-Dev and welcome back to another video. So I have previously made a video on how to use the cognitive functions to work out what your life purpose is using your primary function, your hero function, your dominant function. But now I wanted to let you know how you can more refine your life purpose using your auxiliary function, your second function, or your parent function. So in Myers-Briggs, you start with your first function. It's either an introverted or an extroverted function, and your second function after that will be the opposite. So if you lead with an extroverted function, your auxiliary, your parent function, will be introverted, and vice versa. And this is how you can make sure that you're not focusing too much on the external world or too much on the internal world. So for example, if you are an any dominant type, so an Intp or an Enfp, you might be overwhelmed every day with multiple ideas or perspectives, and that might make it really hard to find out what your life purpose is. So this is where the second function comes in. So you will either have introverted thinking or introverted feeling if you are an NE-DOM. So this is how you refine or you narrow down your ideas or perspectives that your NE comes up with. So FI is like, what's important to me, what am I really passionate about, what do I essentially have to emotionally protect, whereas TI is more about what makes sense, what do I want to figure out the answer to. So what do I want to work out is true or false. So Intp with any TI, they might be overwhelmed with all these ideas about what they want, what they think is true or false or correct or incorrect about something. So for example, how something works scientifically, or what is real or not real, and that's how they will figure out what the life purpose is. So they will have all these ideas, and each one they can check how logical it is, how much it makes sense, and how accurate it is in terms of trueness or falseness. And if they keep doing that, they can eventually find out what is most likely to be true or not so true. Whereas the Enfp with their Fi auxiliary, their Fi parent, they are using that to narrow down what they're passionate about. So they'll have all these ideas, but they will use Fi to narrow down which ideas to follow. So they will look at one path and think, is this really who I am? Is this really what I'm passionate about? Is this something that I feel in my heart is something worth doing? Is it something I really value? And if not, they can essentially throw it away. So they might think, well, I like music, I like making music, but I'm not really sure where to go from there. So you might have all these ideas about playing a music instrument. You might think, oh, but there's a drum, and there's piano, there's singing, there's writing lyrics, there's playing the bass. Like I'm not sure what instrument. So what you could do is you could ask yourself, if you're an ENFP, I'll try the drum and see if my heart is really saying, yes, I like playing this drum. It really resonates with me. And if not, then you can move on to the next instrument. So maybe a trumpet or a trombone or something. Like that's how I imagine an ENFP might try to figure out their life purpose. I might also do some examples of a judging DOM. So perceiving DOMs will lead with either N or S. So NE, NI, SE, and SI. I will probably do more concrete examples of every type at some point, but this is just a general idea of how they might work. And obviously these examples will not be true for every ENTP, every ENFP. These are just trends that kind of correlate with the functions that they have, and what I've seen in people in fiction and in real life, how I've seen them operate. Let's give the example of Isfp. So they are a judging DOM, the judging DOM being the fi function. So we've already talked about fi, but now it's in the first function slot. So it's the primary function, the hero function. So it's very important for those FI DOMs that they follow the passion and they don't let anyone or anything stop them from following their passion, because it's what's most important to them, it's what they're most aware of. And this is basically what the hero function is. It's the thing you're most aware of. So yeah, they might know what they're passionate about and what makes them happy and what they're most likely to defend or praise when they see someone or something else is reflecting what they are passionate about. So yeah, ISFPs, INFPs, really passionate, but how does an ISFP know what to do about that passion? So obviously life purpose is, I would say it's mostly about career, but it could also be about hobbies, or ideally we'd have this person combine hobby and career into one thing, and that is the most ideal outcome. So you're passionate about something and you can monetize it, so you can make a living out of it and actually be happy with what you are doing, which is unfortunately too rare in the Western society right now. So that's basically what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to help people become, when they are making a living, that they are also enjoying it and they are also passionate about it. So yeah, ISFP, what they will do is they will use SE, which is a very impactful function. So I don't expect many ISFPs to have too much trouble with finding their life purpose unless they are quite detached from their parent function, which can happen fairly frequently due to loops that you've probably heard about. And I will talk more about loops in the future. They are basically the first and third function, which I usually see as a typical person's most favorite functions because they have the same, what I like to call energy extreme. So energy being extroverted or introverted. If you are an extroverted type, your first and third functions will be extroverted, and that tends to be where you are more comfortable. You are more comfortable operating in the same energy. So if you're an introverted type, you will be first and third function will be introverted, and your parent function will be extroverted. So you can often be too comfortable in your first and third functions and kind of ignore the second function. So yeah, Isfps tend to really throw their passions and what they love to do out into the world, but I will talk about later how they will have to use TE to actually get it out into the world in a more practical and realistic manner rather than just throwing it out without really thinking about how to monetize it or how to keep it long-term sustainable, how to get the right customers and things like that. So yeah, if an ISFP is passionate about traveling, they will use SE to experience all these countries, so they can work out that, oh, I think I like to travel in European countries, and they will actually travel to them, and they will realize which of the countries are their favorite ones. Obviously, because they haven't actually experienced them, they might be more idealizing them with their FI and maybe their NI about what they think are their favorite countries, and they will actually realize what their favorite countries might be when they actually visit them and experience them through their SE. Let's talk about the INTP. This will be the introverted thinking as their dominant function and their extroverted intuition function as their auxiliary or their parent function. So INTPs love the idea of logic and making sense and finding out what's true or false. So INTPs versus ISTPs. The ISTP will have their parent function as extroverted sensing. So as I said with ISFP, they like to explore the world and experience things that match their primary function of introverted feeling. So with the ISTP, they, compared to the INTP, they would like to experience things out in the world, whereas the INTP is more focused on ideas. New ideas, they are great at inventing things, they are great at working out theories, and that is how they work out what the life purpose is. So what tends to happen is the INTP, they have a love of wanting to know what's true or false, and they're quite similar to ENTPs, except they are less aware of the stream of ideas and perspectives. So that might make it harder for them to work out where to start. Whereas I would say ENTPs find it harder to know where to stop in terms of the ideas that are running through their heads. Yeah, I hope that made sense. If you enjoyed it and look forward to future parts of this series, please subscribe, like, comment what you thought about the video, any other points you think I missed out. That would be really appreciated. Share the video with those who you think might find it useful, and I will see you in future videos. Hope you have an awesome day and an amazing life.